Hello, Willowbrook family. Today's daily devo is Hebrews chapter 2. When I was in the fourth grade, I had a terrible time with school. You see, I went to a school that had a different building design than most schools. The classrooms were arranged in pods, and there were 4 pods connected to a large open area. So you could be sitting in your classroom, one of the pods, and just look over your shoulder and see what was happening in all the other classrooms. And if they were doing something fun and I wasn't, well, my attention would be with them, and I wouldn't hear a thing my teacher was trying to tell me. Needless to say, my grades suffered terribly. I drifted away from what I needed to learn. And this is what the writer of Hebrews is trying to tell us. In fact, we see it in the very first verse. We must pay much closer attention to what we have heard so that we do not drift away from it. And in the second verse, it starts talking about angels and what they have said. In fact, a whole lot of this chapter is about comparing angels to Jesus. Now, why would the Jewish Christians of the day be so interested in that? Well, according to Jewish tradition and in Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 2, many Jews during this time believed that the Old Testament law was mediated from God to Moses through the angels. So the Jewish Christians of the day put great weight on anything that an angel said. Well, the writer of Hebrews is telling us, if you put a lot of weight on what the angels have said, just think how much more weight should be put on what Jesus himself said. How in the world can we escape such a great punishment if we neglect or pay no attention to the wonderful gift of salvation that Jesus offers us? And God testifies to the words of Jesus by showing signs and wonders and many miracles. And the Gospels are filled with all of this. But if that wasn't enough, the writer of Hebrews tells us that not only is Jesus God, and we should hang on every word he says, but that Jesus also is worthy because he humbled himself for a time. In verse 9 in the New Living Translation, it says, what we do see is Jesus, who was given a position a little lower than the angels. And because he suffered death for us, he is now crowned with glory and honor. Yes, by God's grace, Jesus tasted death for everyone. Now that's even more of a reason to listen to him and not to drift away because of needless distractions. So, as you read God's word, listen to sermons or Bible studies, or hear the testimonies of how God has worked in the lives of people, make sure your mind doesn't drift like my mind did in the fourth grade. Listen to Jesus, your teacher, and not what everyone else in the world is saying. Now you do that, and you'll make all A's. Have a great day in the Lord, Willowbrook.